The next one I want to talk about is Ifaketextmessage.com. What's cool about this is that it takes something that they're already familiar with, something that they're already, well, let's face it, they're already into, and brings it into a realm that we can use to um, help them communicate their own ideas as far as it goes to school, as well as see what some of their ideas are. Um, I think it's great because it can be used in pretty much any content, any classroom. You could use it in language arts. You could use it in a foreign language. You could use it in math. There's any number of ways that you could be sending messages back and forth. Personally, I'm thinking about this for next year. Um, when we get through with a couple of our texts, I think this would be a great way for them to have. I've already thought of a name for the lesson. It's I think I'm being lied to, and so they would use this to sort of explore in that unit question who's being lied to, why they're being lied to, why that lie is happening. So in order to use this technology, it's really pretty simple. You just go to ifaketextmessage.com and you'll see that you have a place to put a name. And so for this one, I'm going to be referring to a story called The Landlady by Roald Dahl, in which a young guy he's like 17 years old. He's on his um, first job, and he's looking for a place to stay, and he finds this bed and breakfast with this sweet old lady who's just so nice, and he really takes to her, and she's got such a like an amazing price on where he wants to stay. And slowly but surely we realize that unfortunately he's landed himself in the arms of a serial killer, and he is her next victim. But he never realizes it. We do as the reader, but he never realizes what's just happened. So, but what I want my students to explore is how they notice that the landlady manipulates the truth in order to get what she wants, which is unfortunately Billy to be no more. So what we would do is we would type in this is Billy's phone, and we can imagine that he has just arrived in his destination of Bath, and we could type in like, hey, he's British, so hey mate, yeah, just got into town. Whoops, just got into town, and he's gonna be working there, so he says can't wait to see you tomorrow. And at this point in the activity, I was thinking that we would actually we'd be sharing computers between two people. So the other person would now take this computer, and all they would have to go on is what they see here. So, oh, all right, great, Billy's in town. So yeah, like again, we're British. Let's do lunch, if I can spell. And then since one of the things that we're working towards is um, we're sort of looking at this, so like Billy starts to get a little bit suspicious, we could then go to the next one, and Billy would say, we're going to click on the blue here so that we can see the difference. This is where the point comes in. He would say, I think my landlady is not being honest with me. And so this is where the activity from my end really comes in, because one of the things that we're working on is asking questions, and questions based upon responses that we get, trying to get that conversation going. So the next person would then have to develop a question off of what I just said, and then once I see that question, I would have to respond to that question with my own answer based upon what I know from the story, and then so on and so forth. It would go back and forth, back and forth. One thing that I would say about this is if I was when I work with this with my students, I'm going to set some very like strict parameters. So because they can move everything, and I just want them to, let's just be honest, they're going to mess with it. I'll just kind of tell them what to put it at. So Billy's been traveling all day, so he's only going to have a small battery, and so I would set them up to already do all of this before, so that they're not in there messing around with it. So I think this is a very cool tool, one that I could see a lot of different uses for. This just happens to be one use that I'm thinking about using it for right now, and that is Ifaketextmessage. And again, I think it's got a lot of uses for us.